All right. What I'm starting here is 15s, where you see the white tails, because that's 14, 214 or 14-2. And then the yellow, it's 12-2, so that's going to be 20. So 15 and 20 amps. There's going to be 2 boxes of 15 on this wall, 2 boxes of 20. There's going to be another 2 boxes of 20 and 2 boxes of 15. And on this wall, I'm going to have a 20s and I'm going to have 130. This way, if I want to bring the welder out here, I can bring the welder out here as well. And that's where we're at so far. Now, I'm going to come overhead and I'm going to put a couple boxes in the ceiling with plugs in them that work off a switch. I'll have 1 plug in each box work off of 1 switch. This way, if I want to get some of the fluorescent lights that just hang real quick, and I can just plug it in, I can just plug it in up there, hit the switch either over there or coming in over here, and flip on the lights that are just plugged in. And then I'm going to have enough power up there, again off of another set of switches, to where I can have some, either flood spots or more fluorescence that'll be just wired in directly. So, but that's kind of where I'm at. So I got to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes up there, because I want to have a couple lights right over the counter, the workbench, and over here, as well as a couple of lights in the center of the room. So that's how we're going to work it so far. I haven't got them cut. I got to cut them, feed them through the boxes, and then once I get the wall down the rest of the way over here, I'm going to come off the breaker box, which is up underneath, way up front yonder, and I'm going to put a 50, probably, maybe even 2 breakers in here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a box under there. And I'm going to run myself some, probably 6, I'm thinking. And run that back to a box. Actually, I might be better off running the box on this side. I don't know yet. But we'll see what happens. And then, so these will have their own little set of breakers as well. So that's where I'm at so far. So let me do some cutting and see if I can get some of these fed through the boxes. Alright, did you know that a pair of electrical pliers do a number of things? However, the cutter is on this side, as you can see, but this is the open side. Now, why is that like that, you ask? I'm glad you asked. Because when you're cutting the wire, let me find a piece of wire. There we go. When you're cutting or stripping the wire, when you're stripping this wire, you strip it from the cut end, from the cutting side, and you bring it so that the wire is even with the top side. And that is the right amount of wire that you need to fit into the plug. And that's like that. Now, it's important to buy a halfway decent good pair. Let me put that down here for a minute. If you can see, I don't know if you're going to see this because I can't see it right now. But that there is even. So when you just cut this off, for instance, let me cut it off. Come on, be nice. Okay, now let me get a clean end. Yeah, I want to get a clean end so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. And that's the size that you need that'll fit into the plug. Or if you have to loop it, it's the size that you need to give yourself the right loop that you need. Alright? So they have a number of uses. That's today's lesson. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I don't want to just daisy chain them, link them all together. Okay, because I just don't want all of those on one breaker. You know, they're 15 amps, but there's going to be, 4 plugs in each box. 20 amps in that one, 20 amps in that one. But again, I didn't want to just link them all together. So what I did was I linked like every other one. So you can see there's extra wire coming out of that one, as that one, and as this one. So every other one is going to be on a separate breaker. This way I don't have to worry about it, because there's no sense having all these plugs in here if they're all on one breaker. So even though I'm not going to be using them all at the same time, there's just no sense in it. And not as long as I'm open, I'll throw a junction box up, put everything into the junction box, and take it from there. But I wanted to make sure that they all weren't just linked into one. You blow one breaker and all the plugs will go out. So that one's going to be doubled. That one's going to be doubled. Those two are 20s, so I don't have to worry about those. That one's going to be just a 15 by itself. This end one is a 15 by itself. These over here will be on their own. Those over there will be on their own. One of those will be a 20, one's going to be a 30. These will both be, well, 120 and 115, I guess. Yeah, because I'm going to need a 20 amp on this wall. Plug, not a plug, but a double switch is going over there. So when you come in, you can switch on either all lights or just part lights. And there's another set of switches that are going to go out here. Now you got to remember, this wall isn't going to be here, because you can see I started cutting it out here. So eventually this is going to be the size of the shop, because this wall is all going to be gone. So that's where we're at. I just started cleaning up down here because I got to bring the floor in, and I'll bring it right over to where I'm standing. So that's where we're at. So I will put another set of switches out there someplace as I'm entering this area. Or if I have to have a center support, which I may keep just one center support here, I'll put a set of switches on the support. So that's where we're at. I'm thinking of just starting to wire them. I don't know if I want to wire them or just wait for now and start running more wire. It might be easier just to start running more wire at this point and get all that out of the way. The rest of this wire over here, it's going to be easier to run it across the top. Otherwise I'm just going to be wasting a lot of wire. So I'll run it across the top, let it hang up there for now, and I can decide which way I want to take it once I decide which way I'm going to go with the breaker box. And those I'll just run right into there. So, but that's where we're at. The wife said she wanted me to wait before I went up on the roof and wait until Saturday, because she said she wants to give me a hand. So I said, not a problem. I got enough to do in here. I'll end up going up there anyway. And then I got to clean up outside. It's nice out. It's a little chilly, but it's nice out. It's not a bad day. If you start to sweat and you walk out there, you're going to be cold. But other than that, it's not too bad. So, and then over there in that bucket on the trailer over yonder, that is a sealer. So what we're going to do is we're going to dip the shingles. So I'm going to take that, mix it up real good, box it into another 7-gallon bucket to give us plenty of room, and then we can just dip them. And you know what? I got rubber gloves, heavy duty rubber gloves. We're going to dip it and nail it at the same time. Screw it. Alright, and I'm not going to go nuts. I'll dip them and hang them, or not worry about the back being done. I'm just going to dip it and hang it. And let it be. So be it. So, alright, I guess the wife forgot to staple some of this. So, maybe I'll run around with the stapler and just staple some of this in play real quick. Alright guys, alright, so we got one set in. Those are 20s. And I had to run that one up across and across and finish tacking that up over there. And that's going to go down over there. I decided I'll put the breaker box over there inside. Like I said, I'm going to leave between 18 and 24 inches of that particular wall there. So this way I can bring that other shelf right into it if I want, or that little bench. And at that point I'll put the breaker box up there. So, in there. So that's where we're at. And I am going to call it a day. Yes, I am, because it's probably close to 4 o'clock.